Hey everyone,
Hello,
this is Luke with Essential TV,
and I'm Peter with Essential TV.
and we are here to talk about last night's episode of The Flash and tonight's episode of Arrow. But the big thing coming up is after tonight's episode of Arrow, the next thing is going to be the crossover, the Flash and Arrow crossover.
So we have a lot to talk about.
So the trailer just came out and it's amazing, and so we'll talk about the crossover, which of course leads into Legends of Tomorrow. But we're going to start with the Flash. So send us questions. We'll try to catch them. We don't catch all of them, but we'll do our best.
Yep. Questions,
And
comments, anything you want to talk about.
anything. If we miss something, tell us if we're wrong. But thank us if we're right. And please feel free to retweet, restream, rebroadcast to all of your other friends and family and well-wishers. So, last night's episode of The Flash was officially our second Grodd episode.
I love Grodd.
And it didn't disappoint.
No, it didn't.
And I like how, even with the previous Grodd episode, it's like last season it was all about Reverse Flash, and this season it's all about Zoom. And then you get this timeout. We're going to focus on a giant psychic gorilla for an episode.
Like they really like Zoom was not in it at all. It was
No,
all
there
Grodd.
there was very little Zoom anything. Any mentions? We saw a glimpse of him with Barry's kind of flashback.
Post-traumatic stress.
But that was it. And that's fine. I mean, we love the Zoom story and we want to see more Zoom, but this was good for a little break. And so, I don't know. What did you think?
You can put Grodd in anything, and I love it.
I'd like to see him on The View.
He would just like control the View women to just talk what he wants.
I don't think anyone can control The View women.
No. He still like remembers Caitlyn. He's still like it was kind of like the same of what we saw last season.
But it's an evolution.
Yeah.
Because the last time we saw Grodd, it was kind of introducing us to him. And they mentioned even last night he's getting smarter. Yeah. He's essentially evolving.
He wants friends. He wants a family.
Right. And so they're kind of, when they introduced him, the first thing I ever thought, whenever I heard that they were doing a live-action Flash TV series, I thought, how on earth are they going to pull off Grodd? And then when they did that episode last season with him, I thought, wow, they nailed it. The CGI looks great. He is a psychic gorilla, but we don't have to get too hung up on it. And they introduced him into this world in a believable way. And I feel like last night was just an evolution, stepping him a little farther, so that we get used to him as a character in this universe and accept him. And that's what they move us towards.
Yeah, but now he's no longer in the universe.
Now he's not in. He's in a universe.
He's in, and that if you saw the very end, Grodd ends up on Earth 2, where Harrison Wells chooses to put him in the jungles of Africa, where he says there's a place he'll belong, and it looks like a gorilla city.
Right.
There are mountains carved like Mount Rushmore, except with gorillas. It's civilization. And if you know the comics, or if you don't, I will explain it.
Yeah, and I'm a little rusty in the comics.
There is a whole gorilla city in the jungles of Africa where Grodd and his people are in a hidden civilization. They were actually, in the comics, the gorillas become this smart because of alien experimentation and alien technology. So the gorillas hide this city because they want to evolve on their own without human interaction.
Right.
So it's unusual how Harrison Wells of Earth 2 knows about the city. If it's like because of aliens or because of the particle accelerator.
It seems like it would take a long time to get that built. So.
Yeah, they're just saying, hey, at least Harrison Wells knows about it. Yeah. But so Grodd is now in this new community of very smart gorillas. And just like in the comics, he's not in charge, but he does some bad stuff so he can get in charge. Right. Because Grodd is all about
world domination. Are we going to get a Grodd spinoff where it's all about Grodd running for mayor of Gorilla City?
That is a huge budget. We'll see.
They could just do it as a cartoon
Oh yeah, yeah, you can do this cartoon.
on CWC. So Grodd is in Ape City.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Will he come back? Maybe.
we'll
They
see
leave
him
it. Yeah.
again. The door's always open between universes, and Barry, the whole recuperation. I felt it was a little. We were a little cheated because
Yeah.
last week's episode, Barry is essentially crippled by Zoom, and he couldn't walk, he couldn't run, he was in a wheelchair, and it looked like maybe this might be going on for a while. But it's like this episode started, and the next thing I know, I see Barry running on a treadmill.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened?
It's like,
And I know he heals fast,
Yeah.
but it just seemed
they
like
didn't make it seem like that last week. Last week there was like, oh, he's paralyzed. Like,
right.
next week against Grodd, they're screwed. Like, what are they
Yeah.
going to do? But it's like, oh, we just gotta wait until Barry heals.
Right, we just have to wait at least 30
Yeah.
minutes,
Exactly what they did.
order a pizza.
But they got Henry involved.
Yeah, but that was good. So I always like whenever they bring Henry Allen in.
And by the way, we need more comments, guys. Like, let
Yeah.
us know your opinions. Get some talking points going.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of the episode? And do you want to see a Grodd spinoff?
Yeah.
And would you vote for Grodd?
Okay, now back to Harry.
So Henry Allen, it's always nice to see him. I also felt it was a little cheap whenever at the beginning of the season they brought him back and he gets out of prison and then it's like, hey, it's cool. I'm gonna leave now for a while.
I got 2 tickets. I got 1 ticket to Paradise.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd love to bring you with me, but I got dad stuff to do. Dad just got out of prison stuff to do. Don't even go there. And then he comes back, and I didn't like how they got him off of the show because it felt just dumb.
Yeah.
But I like that they're bringing him back strategically, and I like the way he comes in at this moment, and they use him. And if they continue to do that with Henry, then
everyone,
I'm cool.
Yeah, it's like just like how they in the prison, like you see him now and then. He's not a supporting character; he's a recurring character.
Right. But they had a good excuse when he was in the prison, because obviously there's only so many visiting hours in the day, and now it's just like, he's off cruising the world or doing whatever he's doing. So whatever. But the other special guest we got to see last night, some more of, was Kendra.
We got to see a lot of Kendra.
And
Not in a weird way, in a Wings way.
Right. And so it was cool that we finally got to see. Was the first Flash that Cisco had? Was it Hawkman?
He said it was a man, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. I just assumed because he was touching Kendra, it had to be Kendra.
Because I assumed the first Flash she got was Kendra.
Yeah.
And then he said it was a man, and he said it was an angel and whatever. And at the end, it was definitely Kendra. But I don't know if it
maybe
was
Hawkman. Maybe it was supposed to be a ploy for people who had no idea. Kendra's gonna be Hawkgirl, so they want even like Cisco's fooled. He thinks it's someone else, and then you realize it's Kendra.
But we got to see the Hawk people with wings.
Oh, I like this question. Does Henry coming back feed into the theory that Earth 2 Henry is Zoom?
So one of my favorite theories about Zoom's identity is that he's actually Earth 2 Henry Allen, and I think that would be such a fun thing because what's his name? John Wesley Shipp, the actor, played the Flash in the 1990s series, so he has experience in this kind of role, being a speedster.
Plus, that would be just so difficult for Barry.
And then from a character perspective, from a story perspective, for Barry to have to, it was bad enough that his greatest villain turned out to be his mentor last season. How do you take that up a notch? Well, make it his dad. Essentially his dad.
Yeah, it's going to destroy Barry.
And since we haven't heard anything about Barry Allen from Earth 2, we haven't
heard anything about doppelgangers from Team Arrow at all.
Team Flash.
Damn it.
We have heard about Team Arrow.
Yes, sorry.
Sort of. But I don't know. I think the leading theory is that it's actually Zoom is Barry from Earth 2, but the second theory that I think holds the most water, or at least would be the most interesting, would be Earth 2 Henry. And I don't know that him being on last night's episode, Henry being in that episode, really does anything except say, hey, he's still around. But I personally would be very excited if they revealed that it's Earth 2 Henry, because I think that's a really good story.
Yeah. But back to Kendra.
So back to Kendra and the Hawk people. So now, if you don't know, what's up with Kendra and Hawkgirl. She is going to be a regular character on Legends of Tomorrow, which we've known for quite some time. And her story is that her and Hawkman, they have lived many lives. They have past lives, and they find each other in each of these lives. But in the CW universe, she doesn't remember the past lives yet.
Okay.
And so that's why she doesn't even know, apparently, that she's
so
a
she just
metahuman.
thinks she's a barista at a coffee shop.
Yeah, she. As far as we know, she doesn't know anything about this. Cisco actually knows more about her powers and her abilities than she does at this point. And but he doesn't know that she doesn't know. So
It's going to cause some confusion for the next date.
but it's going to happen quickly because we know that we have seen, not to jump too far ahead, but we've seen from the trailer, the preview for the crossover episode, that the Hawk people are in it, so and in costume. So apparently she's going to find out very quickly.
They go full wings in the
They
preview.
go full wings.
And we're definitely going to get another preview tonight after the new era.
Yeah, so
Somehow.
if you
or maybe they'll just do the same preview as last
well,
week.
if you haven't seen the preview for the crossover episode,
Check it out.
it's at essential.tv. It's one of the newest posts. We have some stills from it, and we have the preview. It's really cool, and we get to see some Hawk people in action.
Yeah.
And we also get to see Vandal Savage, who's going to be the big bad villain in Legends of Tomorrow.
Sweet.
And so let's jump back into Arrow,
Okay.
because that's coming on tonight. And last week we got to see Ray Palmer come back.
It's a good return.
So we're going to see the Atom again, and that also leads into Legends of Tomorrow.
Maybe he's successfully using his powers tonight.
Yeah, he's a regular character there, so he's going to have to pull it together. I like Ray in Arrow because he's like a breath of fresh air. He's a little bit, he always feels to me like he's more out of the Flash than he is out of Arrow, because he's so much more comic booky, and he's funny, he's lighthearted, and Arrow is traditionally very dark and gritty and violent.
Yeah.
And a little bit more grounded. And so I like when Ray and the Atom are in Arrow because it makes it feel a little bit more fun. So I'm glad that he's back.
But tonight's episode is about Diggle's brother, who's assumed dead.
Right. And
Turns out he's not.
Well, clearly well, as far as we know, he's not. From the previews, it seems that he's not. So tonight's going to be a big Diggle episode.
Will we get Diggle flashbacks with Deadshot, or will it just be a story told?
I feel like we ask this a lot because
It's what we
Arrow
thought with
relies on
Constantine,
flashbacks, and they always flash back to the same story, just the next step in it, the island, which we thought, we were trying to figure out whenever we knew Constantine was going to be the guest star on Arrow, are they going to flash back to how he and Oliver met? And we said, well, they can't, because the flashbacks are to the island.
And that'd be just confusing, but we were
then
proven
they
wrong.
introduced him on the island, which was great, the way they worked that in. So I don't know.
Will it somehow be worked in to the island story still?
They keep doing it.
Like, I don't know how they could do it, but
They have to keep that island relevant, because I would love to know this. Let us know. Do you care about the island flashbacks?
I do.
Because I don't.
Because he's still missing a lot of tattoos.
I mean,
And when we saw him on the island, he's got long hair, he's got the goatee. Well,
not anymore.
I know, but
Now,
I'm talking episode 1.
Oh yeah.
When he's been on the island
But
for
that's
5
what I'm
years.
saying. Like, in the beginning of the series, the flashbacks were really important because they helped us to see his world and his point of view and meet the character and understand how he came to be this character. But now I feel like the flashbacks don't really serve a purpose. I feel like they're a distraction.
Well, here's the thing. He was on the island for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the flashbacks move at the same pace of the current storyline. So, season 1, all the flashbacks were his first year on the island. Season 2. So now we're in season 4. And he's been on the island for 5 years. So at the end, technically,
so we have one more season
at the
of flashbacks?
end of season 5, the flashback should catch right up to the first scene of the pilot episode. And then...
Well, that would be cool.
Yeah. And then we'll see.
And also, since I feel like they're really beating a dead horse with these flashbacks, I'll be happy if they do that, because it's just like I said, it served a purpose in the beginning. It feels like this is when I take my break to run to the bathroom or get a drink or something. Except for the Constantine episode
That was
because
it was good
it
flashback.
was different. It was good. I liked it. So Legends of Tomorrow. The crossover episodes of The Flash and Arrow are actually not next week because of Thanksgiving. So next week there are no new episodes. The week after that, we'll be seeing the crossovers. So on Tuesday night, it'll be the Flash episode. It's first part of the crossover, and then the next night will be the Arrow episode. And I don't know, it looks pretty epic. But they one problem I have with what they've been doing is I feel like these seasons they've been cheapening all the episodes leading up to this crossover episode to promote this crossover episode. So it feels like they've really forced a lot of their storylines to build to this.
Yeah, they're hyping it up.
They're hyping it up in a big way. Like even the Kendra thing with Hawkgirl, I feel like we just really met her last week.
We've only had like 2 scenes with her.
And there's no real backstory, and it feels like for her to be in costume as Hawkgirl, the next episode that we see, it feels a little rushed.
We have a Suicide Squad question. Do you think anyone from Suicide Squad shows up tonight? Also, flashbacks are losing some steam. Luke agrees with you about the flashbacks, and I think if they do a flashback to somehow describe, like, show the story of Diggle's brother, he was supposedly killed by Deadshot. So if they're gonna do a flashback, why not bring back Deadshot?
Who misses Deadshot?
That actor, I don't know his name, but he's amazing.
Yeah.
And we'll see. Once Suicide Squad movie comes out, it'll be Will Smith or the original Deadshot.
Right. Well, I mean, we could go into the whole Suicide Squad movie thing. That's a whole other chat. So with Deadshot, I've always assumed we were going to see him again because he's a major character.
And his death was mysterious.
His death was mysterious. We never saw a body, and even if you do see a body, that doesn't mean anything.
Definitely not for this show.
So I fully expect we'll see at least current glimpses of Deadshot. But in the meantime, they could definitely do a flashback, and I hope they do, because those flashbacks need something like Deadshot.
I don't know how they can tie the island flashbacks to Diggle's brother's death with Deadshot, but I wouldn't be surprised if somehow they pull it off, like with Constantine.
Well, maybe it's just a Deadshot story. I don't know.
Yeah, right? I can't figure it out.
We'll see. They surprised us before,
do it.
And they could surprise us
again. I with all my guesses of how they're going to tie in Constantine, that was my last guess of Constantine being on the island.
So anyway, I guess we're gonna take off, but we're gonna be doing another stream after this
at 5:30.
5:30. So if you want, join us again in about 10 to 15 minutes, because we're going to be talking about Jessica Jones.
Marvel's Jessica Jones, the new Netflix series.
So if you like Daredevil on Netflix,
who doesn't?
You're going to like Jessica Jones. It looks fantastic, and we're going to give you the need to know. So we're going to end this stream, but we're going to start another one at about 5:30. So follow on Twitter at essential_TV to get the link, and hopefully we'll see you then, because I think there's a lot to look forward to there. And that comes out this week.
Comes out Friday.
And since there's no Arrow and Flash next week,
it's perfect.
You got something to watch.
You got the entire week.
10 episodes to binge. Yeah. They'll probably be gone by the weekend, but
I plan on finishing it by Sunday.
So
if I can beat my Daredevil. Daredevil took me from Friday morning to Sunday night.
I try to pace myself, but
oh no, I made sure I have no plans this weekend. I'm staying in and watching Jessica Jones.
All right, guys.
Okay. Stay sharp.
And may the Speed Force be with you.
Good night. See you in a bit, actually.